Good evening, Trapti. Welcome to this particular session. We are going to have a very interesting session right now, which is going to be all the PYQs I'll take in few different sessions up till the PYQs which are, or I should say, the previous years which were relevant for you all. And this particular session that I'm going to have is about the latest one, the CLAT 2026 one. Okay, so this was the first caselet which was there. How to approach the caselet? I have already told you guys that for understanding quantitative technique, you need ratios concept, percentages concept, averages concept to be understood. Okay, if you have done that particular part, this session is very useful for you. If you are an online student and not a CLAT possible student right now, I'll suggest you obviously to become a CLAT possible student. But apart from that, also to watch all the quantitative technique sessions that I have taken up till now in the YouTube channel free of cost for you. If you have attended those sessions also, this session and this particular analysis or the solution that I'm going to do for you will be very useful for you. Okay? Okay. So the health insurance plays a vital. So we have been seeing every year that they actually give you a lot of theory. This whole part, which I feel was irrelevant, it was just a theoretical part. Nothing was useful. The survey covered 1,80,000 adults across rural and urban areas. Okay, now that was important. Okay, so where there are some urban and rural areas, and then will be the total value. The grand total value is known to us, which is going to be 1,80,000, 180K. Urban residents form 55%, and that value they have given you also, but they don't want you to calculate also, right? So the total urban residents were 55%, which is amounts to 99,000. So the remaining 45 percentage, which again they have given you, I don't know why they have done that. कुछ तो कैलकुलेशन करवा लेते हैं आप लोगों से. ठीक है, that is 81,000. In each area, coverage was classified under four heads. So we have a public scheme, we have a private scheme. Okay, then we have employer provided scheme, and then we have the uninsured people as well. So the people who have been insured are categorized into three categories, and some people who are not insured, right? So uninsured will come here. In urban areas, public provided coverage accounted for 28% of the urban population. So the public was 28%. Okay, private for 22%. So that amounts to 50% already. Employer was 18%, and the remaining 32% came here. So the whole 100% is equal to 99,000. So if I would have wanted to find out the value here, I could have done that. But whenever the question will ask me, I'll prefer to do it then. Okay? In rural areas where formal coverage is generally lower, public coverage stood at 35%. Public was 35%. Private at 10%, so 45% is done. 8%, okay, so 45 and 53, and the remaining 47 will be here. Again, whenever it will be required, I will try to find out the percentage value, the exact values, and then we can think about it. Okay. For this survey, even though it was quite understood that the insured are the public covered or the private covered or the employer covered, but still they have tried to explain that thing also. Okay, that the insured definition is public, private, or employer schemes, and uninsured is the rest of them, which have no coverage at all. Officials noted that public schemes remain the backbone of rural coverage, while employees are relatively more prevalent in urban. Again, I don't think so. This is something which is useful for you. Correct? So yeah, let's move ahead. The ratio of the insured adults in urban ratio rural is. So insured, so if I see here, 32% were uninsured, right? So 100 percentage minus 32 percentage will be 68 percentage, correct? So 68% of the insured lot in urbans. Of this 99,000, its ratio I have to find out with the rural one. So 47% is here. So the remaining 53 percentage of the 81,000 is what we are supposed to do. Correct? So 1,000 gone, percentage gone, 9 nines are 9 elevens are. Okay. So all I need to do is do 68 into 11 and do 53 into 9. Let's see, because obviously 53 is a prime number, so it will not get divisible. This is just 17 into 4. So we need to do that. So how to multiply any number by 11? That is something we have already discussed. Write a 6, write a 8. In the middle, do the summation of 6 plus 8. 6 plus 8 will be 14. Okay. And here 9 threes are 27. 5 nines are 45. 45 plus 2. 45 plus 2, 47. So this will be how much? It will be 14. So this will be 6 plus 1 carry, that will make 7. So 748 ratio 477. 748 ratio 477 is an option, and that's my answer. Okay. By what percentage is the number of uninsured in rural higher than uninsured in urban? So uninsured in rural is how much? Uninsured in rural is 47 percentage of 81,000. 47 percentage of 81,000. And here it is 32 percentage of 99,000. 32 percentage of 99,000. Okay. After then, the noun that comes, that is supposed to be there in the denominator. So 32 percentage of 99K will come in the denominator. Into 100 is what you are supposed to solve. So again, K and K will get cancelled out. Percentage, and percentage will get cancelled out. I need to find out 47 into 81 minus 32 into 99 upon 32 into 99 into 100. Okay, that is one way to do this. The other way to do that could have been, I need to find out 47 percentage of 81,000, right? So 81,000 is 100 percentage of itself. So it's 1 percentage will be how much? So 10 percentage will be 8.1 and 1% will be 0.81. So 3 percentage will be into 3. 8 threes are 24. Okay, so if I subtract 81 with 2.43, I get 47 percentage of that. Okay, so that will obviously make more sense. 80 में से 2 गए 78. So 78.57K. Okay, and 99K. So there's one more way of doing 32 percentage of 99,000. That is 99 percentage of, because A percentage of B is the same as B percentage of A. So if I'll do 99 percentage of 32K, that will also be the same as 32 percentage of 99K. So the 100 percentage of 99K was 32. Subtract the 1 percentage will be 0.32. So if I'll subtract this, I will be getting 31.68. Okay. So 78.57 minus 31.68. Okay. This will be how much? The difference? 7, 14. So this will be 9. This will be 8. This will be 6. This will be 4. So we have to find out 46.89 upon By what percentage is the number higher than? Higher than or less than is obviously going to be a difference part only. Okay. Let us just do this particular calculation, cross-checking. So 47 percentage of 81 happens to be how much? Oh, no, 47 percentage I had to find out. Sorry. My mistake. My mistake, guys. So this was supposed to be, I just did 3 percentage, but 50 percentage में से 3 percentage कम करना था ना कि 100 percentage में से. So instead of doing, first I have to find out the 50 percentage of that. Okay. So what is the 50 percentage of 81? It will be 40.50. And then I need to subtract the 3 percentage of it. So this will be 0.07 and 40 minus 2 will be 38. Okay. So 38.07 will be the value here. Okay. Similarly, what will be the 32 percentage of 99? It will be 31.6. That is correct. So what is the difference we need to find out? Will be of this. So 38.07 and subtracted by 31.68, or let's say take it to be 67 just for calculation benefit. So this will be 0, 7, 4, 6, so 6.4. 6.4 with respect to how much? 38.07. 6.4 with respect to 31.68. That is something we need to find out. So what will that be? Okay. Now, if I need to find out this value, so I'll just take that 31.68 is the 100 percentage of itself. So the 10 percentage of that will be 3.16. So the 20 percentage will be the double of that. That will be 6.32. So my answer is little more than 20 percentage, and the only option which is matching this condition will be B option. Okay, so this was a little heavier calculation method. I did a small mistake here, so that is why we took extra time. Otherwise, it was a very doable question. If the total population grows by 5% next year, and all the percentage shares remains the same, okay, how many additional privately insured people will there be versus that of the last year, obviously? Okay, so can I say privately insured will also get added by the same percentage? Will also get added by 5% only. So what is a privately insured? Okay. So as of now, what is a privately insured? It is 28% of 99,000, correct? It is going to be 28% of 99,000, and it is going to be 35%. Okay, this is public. The private is how much? The private was 22% of 99,000, and here it was private was 10%. So 10% of the 81,000. Okay. So 8.1% will become the 10% of it. Okay. Now it is decided to be 8,100 only. 81,000 just divided by 10. Correct. And here also 99,000. So the 10% of this will become 9,900. The 10% again will become 9,900. And this is 20%. So what is 20%? 9, 9, 18, 19. Okay, this is 20%. So 2% will be 1980. Divide 20% by 10. Okay, so this will be how much? 21,780. Okay, when this will be getting added with 8,100, it will become 29,880. So this will also get added by 5%. Okay, so it's 5% we have to find out. So the 10% of this will be 2,988, and the 5% will be the half of 10%, right? So 1494. Okay, so 1494 will become your answer to this particular question lines. You did not need it to find out this percentage. First, you need to add up 10% to this, then add 10% to this, and then find a 22% of that, then find out a 10% of that, add them up, and then give the difference value again. Okay, because if every parameter will get added by 5%, remaining the percentage split being the same, and the overall also will just be a 5% increase. That is what we were supposed to do. The total number of employer covered adults is employer covered adults. Okay, so employer covered adults will be 18% of 99,000 and 8% of 81,000. Okay, so 99,000 is the 100% of itself. So 9,900 will be the 10% of itself. So add again this by 9,900, which we have just done. That was 19,800. That happens to be 20%. The 2% was 1980. Subtract this. So you got 817,820. That was 18% value. Okay. And then 8% of this. So the 10% of that will be 8,100. Right? The 1% of that will be 810. 2% will become, or simply doing, if 810 is the 1% of itself, right? 81,000 is the 100%. So 1% will be divided by 10, divided by 100. So 8% will be into 8. Okay. So if I'll add 6480 with 17820, I'm going to get the total number of employer covered people. So 8 plus 2, 10, 8 plus 4, 12 plus 1, 13. So this was 7 plus 7, 14. So 24,300 will come up here. And 8%, because in this process I have found out, it came out to be 6480. And the 18% also in the process I found out, that was 17820 will be my answers. Here also it will be 8,100. And the 22%, what did we get? The 22% was how much? 21,780. 21,780. Okay, if it is required, right? Did we find out the 32%? Yeah, I guess we did find out the 32% value also. You know, that was 31.68 thousand. 31.68 thousand. You know, and did we find out the 47% value? Yes, it was 38.07 thousand. So 38,070, 38,070. In the process, we were able to find out. So it's a good thing, right? And then what was the total? The total was also 29,880. It was 29,880. Okay. Now, okay. So total number of employer covered adults. What was the total number of employer covered adults? It was 24,300. What percentage of all insured adults are publicly insured? Okay. So what was the total number of insured adults? Insured adults happens to be how much? Okay, let's find out the 28% value also. So the 10% happens to be 9,900 and the 30% happens to be 9 threes are 27, 9 threes are 27, 29. This happens to be 30% value. 2% value will be 1980. If I will subtract this, that happens to be 7, 27720. Okay, so that was 27720 here for you. And the 35 percentage value, again, if 8100 is the 100% of 81,000 is the 100 percentage. So 8100 will become what? It will become 10 percentage. So just multiply it by 3. So it will become 30 percentage, 24,300. So 30 percentage value is this. And if this is 10 percentage, so the half of this, that will be 4050, will become the 5 percentage of that. So 28350. So 28350 will be this particular value. Okay. So the 28 percentage of 99,000. Yes, we have got it correct. 35 percentage of 81,000. Yes, we have got that covered. Now we all need to just add up this value, that was 56070. Okay. Okay. And if we add up the 32 percentage of 99,000 as well, that was 31680 plus 38070. That happens to be 69750, correct? Now, the question is, what will be the total number of insured lot? So the total number of insured lot will be 1,80,000, correct? Minus this 69,750. That will be 110,250. 110,250. Out of these people who are there, you can either find out the summation of these three, then also you'll get the same answer. How many of them are public? So 56070. 56070. This is obviously very close to 50 percentage, but it is more than 50% or less than 50 percentage. If this is the 100 percentage of itself, so the 50 percentage of this will be the half. Okay, just do the half of it. We'll get 55125. And it is supposed to be more than that, right? So because it is 56,000 here. And will it be 1% more than that or 2% more than that? Because if this is a 100 percentage of itself, so the 1% will be 1102. 1102. So 72256. So this happens. The 51 percentage is this, and the numerator is lesser than that. So that means the answer will be less than 51 percentage. So that's why C option will become my answer to this particular question, guys. Okay. What percentage of the total surveyed population was insured? What percentage of the total surveyed population was insured? How many of them were insured? These many. And what is that percentage with respect to 180K? That we need to find out. So what we just found out in this particular question, this data, 110250. 110250 was useful for us. It is with respect to 1,80,000. Now, again, we need to find out, is it between 50 and 55, 55 or 60, more than 60 what? So obviously the 50 percentage value will be the half of that, that is going to be 90,000. It is obviously more than that. The 10 percentage of that, that is 60 percentage, will be, if this is 100 percentage, or 10 percentage will be 18,000. That is still more than that. So more than 60 percentage is the answer for sure. Okay, so 60 percentage we have got. Okay, so uh, is it 4 percentage more than that or 1 percentage के आसपास? Let's find out that part. What will be 1 percentage of this? 18,000 का 1% divide by 10 करोगे, you'll be getting 1800. So that will be 0089. So 10980, it is very close to that, right? The numerator is very close to that. So 1% से ज्यादा होगा, लेकिन 4% तक भी नहीं जा पाएगा, है ना? So 61.25 will be my answer. I don't need to find out the exact value here. Okay. So this, my friends, was the first CLAT 2026 quantitative technique caselet 1 that we just did for you. In the next video solution, we will be discussing with you CLAT 2026 Quantitative Technique caselet number 2. If you want to check out and try it out first yourself and then see the solution, so please do that. This is a caselet and these are the questions that were followed. So let's meet in the next class where we will be discussing with you the complete solution of it. I discuss this particular solution the way I expected you to solve. Okay, so try to take the important pointers from this particular solution so that it doesn't become too cumbersome to first find out the whole solution, then see the questions. Okay, see the questions and then solve the part of it. Also, very important part was that this whatever is the extra information that you need to eliminate or remove. Okay, so if you have any doubts, I'll be there to answer them. Else, we'll meet in the next session with the next video solution of the next caselet, guys. Okay. Waiting for your doubts if there are any.